Information for voters and a report from this week's Community Preservation Committee meeting on this episode of Barnstable Today. It's Tuesday, November 6th, 2012. I'm Sarah Colvin. Today is Election Day. Polls opened at 7 o'clock this morning across Barnstable. They'll remain open until 8 o'clock tonight. Town Clerk Linda Hutchinrider advises you to be sure to bring your ID with you to the polls. Be aware the voting booths are very busy. There's been a steady stream of voters coming in so far today. We're expecting an 80% turnout across town and across the country. Polls are also busy in the evening right after work. If you want to avoid long lines, you may consider the off hours. Have patience and allow yourself plenty of time to vote. Be courteous and respectful of other voters when you're at the polls. Again, today is Election Day. Polls are open until 8 o'clock tonight. Well, not only are voters choosing a candidate for President of the United States and casting ballots for several contested races statewide and locally, there are also 3 ballot questions to consider. The first is the right to repair bill. A yes vote would require motor vehicle manufacturers to make vehicle diagnostic and repair information available to independent repair facilities and vehicle owners. A no vote would make no change in existing laws. A yes to question 2 would allow Massachusetts doctors to prescribe medication to terminally ill patients at the patient's request to end their life. A no vote would make no change in existing law. Question 3 deals with the medical use of marijuana in Massachusetts. A yes vote would support a proposed law allowing for the medical use of marijuana in certain circumstances here in the Bay State. A no vote, again, would make no change to the current law. Well, looking at the Community Preservation Committee for more than a decade, the town has helped increase its affordable housing stock through the Accessory Affordable Apartment Program. Costs are up and funding is down. That's why members of the town's Growth Management Department were before the Community Preservation Committee on Monday night to request funding. Coordinator Cindy Dubkowski explains the intent.
Use existing housing stock to create affordable rentals. The apartments are integrated into existing neighborhoods. The homes are the primary residence of the homeowners, so the landlord is right there on premises. And annual monitoring ensures compliance with tenants' income requirements. The program benefits to the owner. It provides an additional income. To the tenants, it provides safe and affordable housing. To the town, it increases our affordable housing stock. And to the economy, it provides housing for employees. A little bit about the program. We have a very low vacancy rate. Last year, at the end of the year, we had a 6% vacancy rate for our rentals. The population served averaged 63% below. 63% of our renters in the affordable units were below the 50% area median income. Actual rents charged by the homeowners were 27% below the rental cap that our program mandates. And I'd like to also mention that we have 50 households in need of affordable rentals on a ready renters list. We combined efforts with several local area towns, and we gather that information, so that's important to know. The maximum allowable rents for our program currently for a studio, $1,123, a 1-bedroom, $1,204, and a 2-bedroom, $1,199. And like I told you, currently our homeowners are charging about 27% less than that. The maximum tenant income for these households, if it was a 1-person family, they'd have to make $45,500 or less. For a 2-person family, $52,000 or less, and so on. I just took a few pictures of the units that we have in town, and as you can see, they're highlighted in the yellow boxes, and they're pretty invisible in the town, in the neighborhoods. Currently, we have 166 affordable units, and they're all counted on the subsidized housing inventory. We have I'd like to also mention that the accessory apartments are the only affordable units currently being added to that subsidized housing inventory. And we're proud to say that 100% of the occupied apartments meet the affordability and the income eligibility requirements.
Dubkowski says the program is seeking $200,000 in community preservation funds for the accessory affordable apartment program.
There's been a major reduction in our current community development block grant funds for this program. The increased costs of creating these new units, it's harder for the homeowners to get that kind of funds. And the big reason is the decreased availability of private funding. As you can see, a major portion of that, $170,000, will be going to the homeowners for the creation of those units, for a maximum of $20,000 per homeowner. And the $30,000 would cover all administrative costs, the advertising, the recording fees.
The CPC voted unanimously to approve that funding request. Next up, a request to help fund repairs to a historic building in West Barnstable. Peter Smith, president of the West Parish Memorial Foundation Board of Trustees, gave a brief history of the West Parish Meeting House and talked of its significance here in Barnstable.
One of the oldest public buildings on Cape Cod, Barnstable Town meetings, such that we hold here now, were held in the 1717 Meeting House from 1719 through 1849. It also served as the location as early as 1719 for the school children of the community, and it was our first public high school and served that until 1863. James Otis, the patriot James Otis Jr., Mercy Otis Warren, statues of these people are on the grounds of the courthouse, revered people in the town of Barnstable. All of them, founders of this country, used this 1717 Meeting House as forum for their debates throughout the colonial time.
Smith went on to discuss the needs of the building and outlined a multi-phase plan for repairs.
The Paul Revere Bell housing that exists in the Meeting House right now, and the housing has become structurally unsound. The findings include some deterioration. There is some critical concerns with the roof. There is fire control is entirely absent in the building, and it is we need a comprehensive professional building assessment by an historic preservation firm in order to fully evaluate all the preservation needs, to include all the features of the building, as well as to inform us as to what less obvious repairs might be necessary. The Revere Bell and its housing were evaluated by two antique bell specialists. The foundation had those evaluations done, and we were sent by Jim Hadley to Robert Coutu, who gave us an extremely effective presentation on the restoration of the bell housing and so forth. But there is considerable deterioration to the entire housing. Bell wheel needs replacement. I'll show you a picture about these things in a moment. We've been recommended to ring it carefully and only occasionally until the structure is replaced. Changes are required to the bell tower in order to ensure that the bell is properly secured.
After much discussion, the Community Preservation Committee voted unanimously to support funding of Phase 1, a sum of $275,000, but cautioned that funding might not be available for future phases. Well, it is time to go vote. Of course, Election Day today. Here's a list of polling locations by precinct. Precinct 1 voters vote at Barnstable West Barnstable Elementary School. Precinct 2 at the Community Center at St. George's Greek Orthodox Church. Precinct 3 at the Senior Center. Precinct 4 at Our Lady of Victory Church Hall in Centerville. Precinct 5 at the Osterville Fire Station. Precinct 6 at the Gym of the Christ Chapel in Centerville. Precinct 7, Freedom Hall in Katuitt. Precinct 8, 9, and 13 are at the HYCC. Precinct 10 and 12 at the formerly called Four Horseman Charter School, that is the Barnstable United Elementary School in Marston's Mills. Precinct 11 at the West Barnstable Community Building in West Barnstable. Exercise your civic duty and head out to vote today. With Barnstable Today, I'm Sarah Colvin.